I had some serious health struggles that I went through, and that's what sort of led me to where I am today. All this really started when I was 12. My mom would make these cinnamon rolls, and she would come in the morning and put them on the table once a week, and she would say, okay, you guys know you're only allowed to have one. And when she'd leave the kitchen, I'd take one or two extra, put them in my pocket, and I'd run into my bedroom and I'd turn off the light, and I'd sit in the corner in the dark and I'd eat them because I was ashamed. I was afraid that if someone knew that I was eating these foods, that they would think that there was something wrong with me. And at about the same time, I was diagnosed with ADHD and I was put on Ritalin. And you know, it was a doctor prescribing medication, but he wasn't explaining to me that this was about behavior, not who I was as a person. And so I had a doctor essentially saying to me, there's something about you that doesn't work right. If you take this pill, everything's fine. And from that point on, I think that when I saw something about myself that others didn't like or that the world didn't seem to agree with, I was going to look for an outside substance to fix it. That's how I thought it worked. You know, in high school, Ritalin became Adderall, and I quickly became an addict. I was taking more than I was supposed to, but it worked for me in high school. I got a scholarship to the college I wanted to go to. Everything looked good, but in college, I started to need more of the drug. As a sophomore, my drug became more important than anything, and I dropped out of college and became a criminal drug addict. The average prescription for Adderall is about 30 milligrams a day. I was doing 450 milligrams in a 24-hour period. I would do this for 6 days straight. I wouldn't sleep. I had no self-worth, no self-esteem. I was 350 pounds. At this time, Whole Foods had partnered with Rip Esselstyn and created the Engine 2 Total Health Immersion Program.
The Engine 2 immersion programs, we've been throwing them now for over 7 years. We've had over 1,400 participants go through, and they all started because of Whole Food Market stores. John Mackey and the leadership team decided that they would send their sickest team members.
My dad has been involved with Whole Foods since the beginning, came to me and said, Adam, I really want you to do this. And he thought if he could help me see that there was possibilities for change just by changing your lifestyle, that it might inspire me to want to change other things about my life. And you know, I agreed to go, but I agreed to go because I thought if I said yes, he'd keep giving me money. And I went to the immersion, but I went to every single lecture. I listened to everything that was being said. I heard them talk about how if I were to adopt a low-fat, plant-based diet, I could reverse chronic Western disease. I could make myself heart attack proof. I wasn't desperate enough for change, but about a year later, sitting in my apartment, I was living like a hoarder, so I wasn't showering, and I'd see all these rashes all over my body, these bed sores, the stretch marks, the lumps, and I'd look at this and a body that I didn't even recognize as myself, and I just started punching myself as hard as I could, over and over again, and I'd look at myself in the mirror and I'd say, I hate you. I was 30 years old. I had already started to develop erectile dysfunction, and I had a thought in my head that nothing's ever going to get any better. And I attempted suicide. I popped some extra pills. I immediately started to panic, and I tried to stand up. I vomited, fell face forward into a pile of garbage. I somehow regained consciousness, surrounded by fast food garbage, surrounded by empty pill bottles, dying at the age of 30 from a life of drugs, food, and denial. Joseph Campbell said that we're not so much looking for the meaning of life as much as we are the experience of being alive. The ability to experience being alive. When you're obese, when you're sick, you are handicapped by life. Everything about your life is just removed. People ignore you and pay attention to you at the same time, because they can't stop from looking at you, but they want nothing to do with you. I picked up the phone, I called my father, and he answered the phone, and I just said, Dad, I need help. 2 weeks later, I check into rehab. So I got a call from the doctor about 48 hours into rehab, and he says, you know, we need to have a talk. Please have a seat here. And I said, you know, what's up? And he said, you didn't write in your forms here that you have type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure. And in my arrogance, I said, well, yeah, I don't. And he said, Adam, we are so worried that you're going to have a heart attack. I went back to the dorm and I called my dad and said, you know, I just found out that I have diabetes and heart disease, and I don't know if I can handle this. I thought all I had to do was, get sober. And he said, you learned at the immersion that you can reverse this. It's completely reversible. If there's something about your life that you don't like and you can change it, then you don't have a problem. It helped me realize that if I'm going to be sober, if I'm going to do this, and I have to get up every single day and be comfortable being uncomfortable. And then I was going to wake up one day and I was actually going to look forward to this lifestyle. In 3 months, my blood sugar dropped from over 300 to 70. I went to go see my endocrinologist at month 4, and he does a finger prick, it's 82, and he goes, wow, the medication's working. And I said, I really don't think so. He goes, no, look, you know what? This is good. We're going to take you down to half your meds. I said, oh, well, I really don't want to do that. What do you mean you don't want to do that? You don't want to take less medication? Oh, no, actually, I haven't been taking it at all for about a month. What? What have you been doing? Well, I adopted a plant-based diet, and seems to have reversed my type 2 diabetes. And he said, oh yeah, well, that makes sense. Why not recommend that in the beginning? I don't care. I walked out feeling something that I hadn't felt in a long time, self-worth. And that self-worth made me feel like I was worth saving. My life lived inside of a hoarder's apartment, surrounded by drugs, surrounded by nobody. My life now it's bigger than I could ever have imagined. Today I get to work with Rip and John and my dad. They are the reason why I was able to do what I did, because they provided the platform. Dr. Esselstyn says that genetics load the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger. You can go your whole life never seeing the damage that you're doing, but still doing the damage. And I'm very grateful for the fact my body was willing to show me early on what was going on, because now I have so much of my life left to live happy and healthy.